Which high-profile quarterbacks could be on the move? We're going to break that down and more today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year.
Hello, Joseph. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And preseason, no preseason games yesterday. Was rough. I was ready.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know that there wasn't. So about 7 o'clock, I'm like, who's playing tonight?
Let's see who's on. Yeah.
Nobody. You know what I did? Went to bed. Went to bed.
There is one on Monday this week, though.
Really?
I found that out because Baltimore and Washington canceled their joint practice for next week because Baltimore plays on Saturday, Washington plays on Monday, and then both teams play like on Saturday for their final game. So Washington has like a 5-day turnaround between games. Preseason 2 and 3. And obviously, it's not as big a deal. You got 90-man rosters for this time of year, but like have a joint practice stuffed in there too. Like, yeah, I don't blame him. Like, I wouldn't want to do it here.
Sunday night, Bills Bears. If you're into those types of things. Okay, shall we? Takes on Takes, a weekly episode where we give our take on your take, and we got some cool stuff lined up. Let's get into it. Von Tell says this, a nice little parlay after yesterday's conversation on the Rams. He says, with what's going on with Matthew Stafford, the Cardinals and Seahawks will be battling for first place in the NFC West. The 49ers' skilled position players outside of Kittle seem like a ticking time bomb, and their defense is still a year away.
We know I'm high on Seattle's defense.
Yeah, and we do know that. You should be.
I don't think I can get there. I think it will be I don't think the two teams that we're talking about potentially not being competitive are going to be bad enough where they would not be considered competitive. Like, I don't think the Seahawks and Cardinals are going to run away with 12 wins, and it's going to be the two of them. Now, they might be in it till the very end, but I think you wouldn't say, hey, these are the two teams that are in it, and neither of the other two teams are in it.
Yeah. Like 4 to go, and it's down to the Cardinals and Seahawks.
Right, yeah. Like, I don't think there will be that much separation between them and the other two teams.
My thought in the NFC West is you could probably talk me into any team winning it. I feel like it's the most wide open.
How cool must that be as a fan? We wouldn't know. Like you're living good now, but beforehand, before the last 5 years, right? It was like,
sure,
or the Patriots. That's it. Like you just knew.
Hey, there's a couple times I sweated it out, but you told me not to, and I should have listened. So, I guess that's fun to watch as a non-fan too, right? See him duking out. You don't have you want, like, with all due respect to the NFC West, it's probably the division that's the least, like, I have the least care as to who wins that division.
I have no emotional investment in who wins the NFC West.
None at all. None at all. Calvin's coming in hot. 4 quarterbacks with a $45 million APY will be on a new team or out of the league in 2026.
All right, so we're talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, I have the list. I think it's 15 quarterbacks. Can we find 4 here that will either be on a different team or not in the NFL? We're going to do the thing.
All right, you're doing annual average, is that correct?
$45 million annual average.
Okay.
Dak Prescott.
No.
I agree with you. Jordan Love.
No.
I'm with you. Trevor Lawrence.
No.
I'm with you. Joe Burrow.
No.
Josh Allen.
No.
With you. Tua.
With his fully guaranteed salary next year, I think he will be on the Dolphins next year. Now, if he has injury issues, and they make a regime change and they're in a position to draft somebody because they're drafting high because the season goes off the rails, would they draft him? Probably. But if he gets hurt again, I don't think he's a tradable asset with a $50+ million cash owed to him next year that's fully guaranteed. With it fully guaranteed, you're not going to cut him to go away, right? Like, I guess Denver did that with Russell Wilson. So, like, theoretically, you could, but I would bet on that not happening. I would going to pay your salary. You'll be here this year, and then we'll move on when there's no more guaranteed salary. So I'd say probably no.
So we have 5 hard no's and a probably no here.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, no.
No.
Okay. Are you thinking about it? Brock Purdy?
No.
Justin Herbert?
No.
Lamar Jackson?
Lamar's going to be at the top of this list before he's anywhere else. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Jalen Hurts?
No.
All right. We've got 4 left.
And we need 4? We
need 4.
Okay.
So we're on the table here. One of them is Patrick Mahomes, so this is pretty much over. But
yeah, this is over.
We'll flesh it out. Kyler Murray.
We're deep enough into this contract where if they wanted to transition, they probably could, right?
Right. And this regime, Monty Ossenfort, Jonathan Kenton, they didn't pick Kyler Murray. So do I expect the Cardinals to be in a position to find a better option though? Because we think this is a team that's going to be competitive for a playoff spot, right? I think they win 8 to 10 games. Yeah.
So no, if the Cardinals crash out and they're bad, it's kind of the Miami thing, but this is more likely to happen than the Miami thing because Miami still has next year's salary guaranteed for Tua, where for Kyler, fully guaranteed at signing, 22.8 of 2026 salary fully guarantees on the 5th league day of 2025. So he's into the rolling guarantees.
Yeah.
So they could move on for 22.8 next off.
Would Kyler Murray, could he be the quarterback that a team like the Saints or the Browns
I think he's
trade for?
Yeah, he's at the point where he's a tradable contract as well. I think that's a good call out because his cash breakdown next year in 26, it's a $17 million roster bonus. He's got the juiced up workout bonuses, 1.8 million in workout bonuses.
Right.
And then a 22.8. So his base salary fully guarantees, and then his roster bonus is fully guaranteed as well. So they could pay the roster bonus of 17 and then trade him to somebody else, and they would pay him 22.8.
That's totally doable.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, goodbye.
C'est la vie.
Kirk Cousins, that's probably. So we have 2 and then 2 maybes.
Yeah, I think this is 2. It's very hot, and it's the spirit of takes on takes.
Yeah.
You know what? Is this the take of the day? Is this our takey?
It might be. I want Kelvin to tell me which 4 he was thinking about when he when he submitted this.
Yeah, get back to us.
Because you got to run the table here. You got to run the table here on Murray, Tua, Watson, Cousins. I think it's unlikely. All right, we got a lot more to do, including someone declaring the most annoying team in the NFL. We'll break that down and more. Be sure to stick with us. This episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat. Get your draft board ready and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all the overreactions we live for. It's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year I'm playing on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should too. Whether it's your first ever league or a veteran that's in your millionth league. I've used Yahoo Fantasy for years, and I love how smooth the draft day experience is. And it's easy to set up a league. The mobile app is awesome, and the message boards are incredible for the smack talk. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy football greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days throughout August. To kick it off, they just dropped Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, a killer new way to play Yahoo Fantasy football where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated each week until there's one team left standing. With the season right around the corner, now is the time to get your league together and give this new mode a try. If you're more into the classics, you can still play in head-to-head private leagues or join a public league. Stay tuned for more killer announcements and start playing Yahoo Fantasy Football now at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. Bub making some comments so we don't overtake his takes, man. Well, you got to say something that is compelling.
Bub, here's your problem, Bub. Every time I log on, I've got probably 2, and they're funny, notifications from Bub. I'm used to seeing Bub in my timeline.
Yeah.
So I want to say I take you for granted, Bub, because I think Bub's really funny.
Yeah.
But if I know I see Bub every time I log in, you've either got to really step your game up with your takes, because I'm like, you're familiar to me. So that means you're on a different level as one of like the duties, right? Like you're one of our duties. And getting on as a duty and as a hardcore interaction it's a different level you got to get to.
Do you know what Bub looks like?
No.
So there's he looks like Brad Robbins, he's from
North Carolina, right?
He's from Weedville, Pennsylvania. You ever heard of this town? You're a Pennsylvania guy. You guys are
Weedville?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. So Bub his doppelganger is Brad Robbins, the Bills' new punter. And look at Brad Robbins' aesthetic. It's pretty unique. Bald with a killer mustache, and Bub's got that rocking.
Oh, right.
It's an incredible bit that we have going. So we need Brad Robbins to be a good punter for the Bills so that the bit can live forever. But let me tell you this, as I am the take master, I don't really look at who the names are. It's what you say. Do I think it's going to lead to an interesting conversation on the podcast? It could be from anybody. Right, listen.
Fired at Brad Robbins by Joe Marino.
My guy, Koala Bear Khan, every week he submits this take about fullbacks having more collective rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson. And at some point, Khan, my guy, you got to realize I'm not picking that one. I'm not going to take it.
It's like going to the same fishing spot with the same lure and not getting bite, right? Like,
get
a new lure.
Or get a new lure.
Yeah, get a new lure.
Got to get a good. Oh, we will acknowledge Lamar Jackson's awesome at running the football, but he doesn't have that many rushing touchdowns compared to what you would think. All right,
well,
there's the take.
He just got the nibble on the rod. We just gave it to him.
A little nibble. All right, there it is.
Let me ask you a question. When you go fishing, and it's
Friday, yeah, all the times I go fishing. Hold on.
Yeah. When's the last time you went fishing?
Oh, good Lord, Kyle.
Which it's funny that you're like this because you are super outdoorsy and country and like.
I'd love to go fishing. I would. And when I was growing up, I fished all the time.
Did you use like came in the jar and it was like the putty that's supposed to smell for the bass?
I've seen stuff like this. Yeah.
My grandfather swore by it. And like after he passed, I would try to use it because I'm like, man, he knew what he was doing. Like he was super outdoors. I couldn't catch jack with that. And it stunk. It smelled so bad. So I was just curious if you had used the putty, like we're talking about lures, like do you use jigs? Do you use like how do you go about trying to catch a fish?
I like jigs. I like crankbaits, stuff like that. I don't like to do a lot of live bait, but I haven't fished, dude, in a long time. But in high school and middle school, dude, I was fishing all the time. But that's been a long time for me. Mm-hmm. So anyways, Bub has a take that we're going to take. Bub says the slow rollout of the NFL Top 100 has completely killed any excitement for the reveal. Doing 10 at a time and watching an NFL Network is the optimal release as it comes off as an engaging 10-part series. No one cares about 2 Twitter posts a day.
I would agree. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, this is definitely not better. I'll say that. But here's my problem with the NFL 100 isn't how it's released or anything like that. It's the methodology. It's an unserious practice to give players a card and say, put your top 20 players on there. And then somehow that gets us 100. Like with all due respect to insert whatever player, who's on the list. Just, I know.
I'm not putting a name.
I know that with all due respect to whatever player is 98th, that guy should not be on a single player's top 20. And therefore I have no idea how he gets into the list. Their methodology is confusing and makes no sense to me. It should be the top 25 players if you're going to give everyone a 20-player ballot.
Now I'm going to go find out who is number 98.
Who is it?
Aaron Jones. Shots fired.
With all due respect to Aaron Jones, He's not a top 20 player in the NFL. He's not.
Ladd McConkey?
Not a top 20 player in the NFL.
Leonard Williams?
These guys are not top 20 players in the NFL.
Josh Sweat, Drake London, Levante David,
proving my
Dan
point.
Laporta.
There's no methodology in which this makes sense to me.
Creed Humphrey.
You understand?
Could Creed Humphrey have made somebody? If somebody's
sure, I'd buy it. Sure, I'd buy that.
Jesse Bates,
maybe.
Tua T.
You should not get 100 different players when the players submit a top 20 ballot. There should not be 100 names represented.
Top 7 paid running back James Cook came in at 89.
Not a top 20 player in the NFL. He's just not. How about this one from High Ground? TJ Watt and Cam Hayward will have more sacks than the Atlanta Falcons this year.
Oh, no. I hope this isn't true.
There's no way.
Did we ever get into that Falcons pass rush talking bit on the show?
Yes.
Did we do it on the show?
I'm pretty sure we did it on Falcons Day.
Okay. I won't do it again then.
Kyle, let's just be honest here. The career high for Cam Hayward in sacks is 12 in 2017.
He had 8 last year, though.
He had 8. Let's say he has 12 this year at 36 years old.
Could TJ have 20?
Yeah, he could.
Right.
So that's 32 sacks. Come on.
When's the last time the Falcons had 32
Wait, hold on. Is that good math? 20 plus 12 is 32, right?
Yeah. When's the last time the Falcons had 32 sacks in a season?
I'm sure. Come on, dude.
I am fading the take, but I think it says something that you have to think about. How would you go about resolving the Cam Hayward situation if you were the Steelers?
What does he want?
He's 36th in cash scheduled this year for defensive lineman in the NFL. He's outstanding. It was probably top 3 year of his career last year. And he
did the whole thing where he said, I'm going to be an all-pro and then I'm going to come back. And then he did it.
Yeah. And then he did it. Yeah.
He's got 2 years left on his deal. I think that makes it complicated.
And he signed the 2-year extension for 29 and change last offseason.
Why didn't he just take a 1-year deal last offseason?
Because then he'd still be under contract this year. Because he wasn't he wasn't a free agent when he signed the 2-year extension. He had 2024 left and signed a 2-year extension ahead of 2024.
$25 million should be a reasonable amount of money for Cam Hayward. So you give him a $5.5 million bump. Does that get it done?
No, he's at like 15 is what he's getting. So that's a $10 million bump.
Well, I'm sure he feels some type of way about trading for Jonnu Smith and then giving him a bump.
You know what it feels very familiar to? What the Dolphins did last offseason? Jalen Ramsey comes in, gets a rework contract. Jalen Ramsey or DK Metcalf comes in, gets a monster contract extension. Johnny Smith comes in. We paid everybody under the sun, bunch of guys who never played here. Cam Hayward's like, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go be your all-pro, and we're going to have to restructure my contract. But he is 36. Like, this is age 36-year-old.
14. He's 14-year pro, dude. Take care of your guys, man. I think he's got a reasonable axe to grind.
The resolution that I proposed when I did it for A to Z. Now he's this year he's scheduled for $14.75 million, which is 36th. I said, take the money that he's due next year, which is 14.25. Get rid of the last year of the deal. Right? So get rid of 2026. Take the cash scheduled that's owed to him, give him a portion of it as a new roster bonus to give him an immediate pay increase, convert the rest of it into incentive money so that he has to go out and earn it on the field. And then you don't have to do this again next year. Like, you don't want to do New Year's, new guarantees because he's 36 years old. Get rid of the last year of the deal, move the money that he's owed and put some of it in guaranteed and some of it in incentives, and then let this year play itself out. And then the league can help you figure out what his worth is next year if you want to bring him back when he's 37.
I mean, based on what the Steelers are doing with their team, you're not in a position to not have Cam Hayward as a major part of your formula.
So do you realize, and I know we got to get to break, Pittsburgh's in right now. They're in the top half of the league in cash spending for the first time since when?
Oh, maybe ever.
2019 was the last time they were in the top half, and they were 7th. How many times in the last decade has Pittsburgh been in the top half of the league in cash spending?
3.
Twice. So you're now in the top half, 15th. You're whatever you end up doing with Cam Hayward away from being in the top 10 for the second time in the last 12 years. And you're going to sit here and haggle Cam Hayward over a few $1,000,000 after the Jalen Ramsey commit. Darius Slay got brought in and got $10 million per. Aaron Rodgers got brought in, right? Like, your chips are all on the table right now. You can't sit here and play hardball with Cam Hayward. And I think Cam Hayward knows that, right? It's like, come on, you did it for everybody else. I have another talking point on Pittsburgh, but we can get into it after the break.
All right, stick with us. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's a 401k, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch does all the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Maybe you have some subscriptions that you forgot you're paying for. Monarch will immediately spot those for you, and you can cancel those and save money every single month. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNFL.
Joe, the Pittsburgh Steelers have 10 players this year that are receiving at least $10 million in cash. What do you think the average age
of
those players is?
That's not a good story to tell. That's in the 30s, I'm sure. 33, 34.
So you have age 31, TJ Watt, age 28, DK Metcalf, age 31, Jalen Ramsey, age 36, Cam Hayward, Patrick Queen, 26, Aaron Rodgers, 42, Alex Highsmith at 28, Pat Freiermuth at 27, and then you have Derek Harmon, first-round draft choice at 22 years old, and then you have Darius Slay at 34. It's 30 and a half years, average age, and you have first-round draft choice in there. Your 11th and 12th players in cash schedule are 30-year-old Jonnu Smith and 32-year-old guard Isaac Seumalo. And it's not a huge end of the world thing because they aren't a super high cash spend team on an annual basis. But I think it really just underscores the position that they've put themselves in to really go for it right now. But if it doesn't work out, how many of these guys are you going to stay attached to? And then what does your roster look like? What's your answer at quarterback? What's your secondary now all of a sudden?
Hey, Omar Khan is extended and in place to see it through, baby.
See it through. But it was just very jarring for me to kind of look at, hey, here's their $10+ million salaries and how mature those players are. A lot of players, and no longer players that all came up in the same program, right? Like players from different places.
Yeah.
Be interesting. So that is the big chemistry experiment of the 2025 season for sure, is Pittsburgh.
All right, let's get into this annoying team take from Carl. The Jets will be the most annoying team to have to play this season. Well, they won't finish high in the standings, but the physicality they will play with and the ground and pound offense will make teams hate having to play 4 quarters and will shock some teams.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be tough out. But if you could play physical up front and you can force them to try to have to win a certain style, I think their margin for victory, their game script is pretty narrow. So I think there are ways where, if you get ahead by 10 points, what is...
They're in trouble. Yeah, they can't be a drop-back team.
What does their play script look like, right? So But yeah, I think they've got a great DNA of like a physical, tough out football team that wants to run the ball and limit possessions. So your margin for error is slimmer because if you make a mistake and lose a possession, it's going to be that much more amplified based on how they play. I think I'm glad this is the lens that we're looking at for defining the most annoying team too. Because I was like, are we talking fan bases? Are we?
Oh gosh, no, style,
style of play.
I buy what they're saying. Quarterback like Fields, he's high variance, but that rushing threat is real, and that's a lot to have to deal with. I think they'll run the ball well. They got a good offensive line. I think the missing part of their formula right now is honestly their defense. I don't think they have enough up front. I've got questions about their secondary. So, are they going to be good enough on defense to play this clock control, ground and pound style? I worry about that. So
I also would say it's probably fair to say a team like Baltimore might be a little bit more annoying to have to play.
Well, yeah, but you expect, they're showing up with 200 rushing yards and like they're loaded.
Just saying, I'd be very annoyed playing Baltimore.
Yeah, thanks. Fully aware of that. All right. Let's do this one from the Sports Nut. Justin Fields will have more total touchdowns than Caleb Williams this season. Caleb had 20 last year, by the way. 20. 0 rushing touchdowns, 20 passing touchdowns.
This only happens if Caleb gets hurt, right?
Why would you say that? I mean, Justin Fields is probably going to throw 18 to 22 touchdowns and probably run for 5 to 10. Yeah. So he could score. I think Justin Fields could score 25 or so touchdowns.
But has he ever before? That's the mean. Has he ever done that before in a season?
Yes. Yeah. He had like a season of 18 passing touchdowns and 8 rushing touchdowns.
Okay, so 26.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a sizable gap. I really don't.
I don't think it's going to be a sizable gap, but I think things would have to go really wrong in Chicago, I think, for this to manifest. Based on what Chicago invested in their offensive line, Ben Johnson, and trust me, I heard it. You won't hear it because you get the Bills broadcast, right?
It's the Fox broadcast. It's like their main guys, whoever.
The preseason week 1, but I mean, it was every 30 seconds. Ben Johnson's overloading Caleb Williams to get him ready for the season.
He's playing Sunday night. We'll get a chance to see him. Probably do pretty well.
I will lean no, but I do acknowledge there's a possibility this happens, especially with the rushing element of, and I think my bold take with Justin is that he sets career highs in both.
Look, I think it's possible. I think it's possible. All right, it's at the point now where we don't have as much time, so I have to be choosy here.
Sorry, this is my fault.
Right. Wow, this is pressure.
You got to do the joint practice one because we have that on.
Yeah, let's do that. Josh says, although very valuable, joint practices are blown way out of proportion by media and fans. Both teams will win and lose reps. It's not the end of the world.
I get why joint practices are often the public practices for the entertainment value. It's probably the worst practices to have is public practices.
Right. I mean, because then it's not like if you watch your own team practice against itself, you always have to be mindful of if your offense made a great play, that means that your defense got smoked.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Right.
Now there's not that. You either were the team that was better on that play or you weren't.
And it becomes like, did we win the practice? But like, the only thing I'm going to say on this is the Dolphins made front page of Yahoo News on Thursday morning because they had a terrible practice against Detroit. Couldn't cover Amon-Ra St. Brown. Mike McDaniel came out after, like on Thursday morning, is like, yeah, we left the corners on islands to try to cover Amon-Ra because we want to see who reacted to giving up big plays and how they respond to it. Is like, Miami didn't come into Detroit saying, how do we make sure Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't catch the ball today? Practice.
Right. Yeah, it's not a game plan, right?
It's like, hey, we're going to throw you guys to the wolves here because we want to see who sinks or swims, and we want to see who has a short-term memory when they get smoked for a big touchdown. And it turned into, it's the most lopsided practice we've ever seen in the history of mankind. And Mike was like, yeah, no, we want like we wanted to throw him into the deep end. We let them do it because it's practice. And then it's become this big feud the rest of the week. So it's confirmation affirming season. I would say, did the Dolphins execute with their Wednesday practice against Detroit? No. But they also didn't come in saying, hey, we need to execute to make sure we shut down Amon-Ra St. Brown today at practice. So I agree with this take. And I'm especially emphatic about this take because it's process time. It's not results time.
I think we're good.
Nothing else?
I mean, we could, but it's just like it's hard. There's
no food takes?
No food takes this week.
No food takes. All right. Well, then we're out of here. Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino, Locked On NFL Scouting in the books. Appreciate you guys checking out the show. Make it a great rest of your day. We'll be back again on Monday. Enjoy the preseason games that await, where we do keep score, unlike at practice. So hopefully your team comes out with a dub, regardless preseason or not. And here's to every team staying healthy, no major injuries. We'll react to the action on Monday.